Welcome back. Today I'm going to continue talking about exposure compensation, a setting that you find in your camera. So what is exposure compensation? It's pretty much you setting your camera settings and then saying, well, the picture's not quite bright enough or it's not quite dark enough, and so you just adjust on the dial to go brighter or darker, and that's what your photo does. All right? It's pretty quite simple. However, there is a slight downside to that. So the camera is bound by the shutter speed, the aperture, and the ISO. But it's specifically, exposure compensation is going to take your aperture and your shutter speed and change them from where you started at. It's going to change them so that you achieve the lightness or darkness in the picture. So this is a super quick fix of getting bright photos or darker photos or whatever it is you need. But if you're going for a specific, I want this blurry background, I don't want a really blurry background, or I want a lot of detail in my landscape picture, but as soon as you adjust that exposure compensation, that specific element that you're looking for in your picture probably just went out the window. So I want you to pay attention to that with your exposure compensation. So here is your photo challenge for today, is grab your camera, switch into your AV mode, if hopefully that's what you're using, but switch into AV mode, go to your settings on your camera, get ready to take a shot like you normally would, but then I want you to adjust the exposure compensation. Now to do this on your camera, it's different for every camera, so look at your owner's manual if you need to, but adjust the exposure compensation, and I want you to pay specific attention to the camera settings that are changing. So set your aperture and pay attention to what the camera thinks the shutter speed should be. Take your shot. If it's too dark, too bright, so be it. But then adjust your exposure compensation to make it brighter or make it darker, and see how the camera settings changed to make that happen. Okay? It's really important that you understand. That way, if ever you switch into manual mode, you will understand what the camera's doing to compensate and to expose that photo. Okay? So exposure compensation, it's great, it's important, and it's a quick way to do things, but it just might trip you up if you're looking for something specific.